I've had a lot of girlfriends, and if I were able to look back now and point to one thing that was a good indicator as to I was wasting my time and I really should have just left when I felt this and saw this, is the lack of trying or interest to try. You could be holding back, you're not sure. And the lack of wanting to make an effort. You know when you just meet someone and you're friendly and you try to be friendly and have a good time and it just builds and builds and builds? That's the kind of thing. But I think a lot of us who might be stunned by a pretty person, we keep editing ourselves as we're talking or trying to get to know them, not to make a mistake. But we don't do this with people we meet and we feel a spark or interest or a wanting to lay everything out for. And it's that editing and not being sure and kind of putting up barriers. That's a problem. But I think one thing we can ask ourselves, and I reflected on this as I got older and started to date with more intent, is that am I actually feeling comfortable and honest around this person where I'm having a good time and trying? And I can really feel the same coming back. Now, they don't have to do the exact same thing as you, but you can tell when you're having a good time and it's flowing. And that flowing, the back and forth, that beautiful tennis match that happens between two people that are getting along, is what I'm talking about. Because a lot of times when, I was trying to play games and trying to spin lines and do strategy, it never works. Now, strategy in terms of, well, I better show up on time because that's rude. You could look at that as a strategy, but that's just like, being sensible, being civil, being polite, do and act the way you would expect someone to do and act towards you. But I'm talking about just assessing the nervousness that you feel and really seeing, is that just butterflies because I really like them and I'm nervous around them? Or is it, I'm just not sure what's going on, and so I'll just politely and romantically act like the best version that anyone would like. And that's the trap. I ran by the script of an impressive guy that looked like the person I saw in the mirror, the most impressive version that I could see in the mirror. And it didn't matter if I bullshitted my way through and said lines that I would never say to anyone else that knew me. But during that time, I felt like, yeah, that's impressive. That's what they want to hear. That's trying, but this is the switch you realize, that you can't try in the way that you want to get a job, that you want to impress a client, that you want to impress, you know what I mean. And when I look back, there's this genuine case for trying, where if you're both putting in effort and interests, it will either work or won't, because it's honest. Because no amount of game will sustain it. Game and polite, formal etiquette, the way you come to a client or a prospective job and you want to sort of schmooze people, that kind of gaming, and it's not nefarious manipulation. It's not like you're being sleazy to double cross them. You are just trying to be this ultra nice fictional you that you want to be kind, but you're not being honest. That's the difference. You're trying to be so nice and kind that you forget that it's not you doing it. You're not doing it through your own words, your own perspectives, and your own values. You'll say and do anything that is kind and polite, even if it's not you, to say, well, what did I do wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong, but you didn't portray yourself like you were. If you're a car, present yourself as a car, not as a boat, because you know the person you met actually doesn't like cars, and so you act like a boat. And this, lack of genuine, honest trying that you can see from the other person, which makes you want to try genuinely and honestly and reveal more and tell the person about your fears, your aspirations, the good, the bad, your imperfections, the things you're proud of. You can say anything and the person just likes you more and feels more connected to you and things like that. So this case for trying is something I would recommend to the younger version of me, to stop wasting so many times doing the same thing. Oh, well, I'm impressing girls. Why doesn't anyone like me? I'm impressing girls. Why doesn't anyone like me? In the same way your parents tell you to say and do the right things in front of strangers when you go to church, when you get a job. It's always perform, perform, perform in the cardboard cutout, well-rehearsed, beautiful, polished version of things you say and how you look and how you present, and then anyone will like you. And this is the mistake that the pickup artists have, that they think that if you act like this, you can get anyone, and you can. But then once you relax and you have them, and then you spend time at home where they get to know the you under the surface, the you that's in a tracksuit and t-shirt, they kind of either feel like it was a lie and it was just a performance to get them. And can you blame them? You wouldn't like it if they did it to you. I've been with some really nice women in my past, had long relationships with them, but ultimately we're not compatible. And we both performed our way honestly, not because we were trying to fool a person, but we felt good that the other person liked us and we liked them and so on and so forth. But you don't realize till later, after the honeymoon period ends, where you relax and you're yourself and you just both feel uneasy. You both need time away from each other. And when you start to feel that, you know that you weren't honest during the courting process, the start. So this case for honest trying, saying what you want, being honest about that to the person, your dreams, your aspirations, how you want to live, whether you want kids, whether you don't want kids, what kind of temperament you have, what you think is funny, and the other person matches that. Not you think this sort of humor is really funny and secretly they think it's disgusting, but they smile like, and they go along with it. When the honeymoon period ends, that ends too. And they know that they rather be around their friends than you, their partner. That's not good. If it comes to a choice between being around anyone or my wife, Stephanie, I would always want to be around Stephanie. You know, if it came to a choice between it. And yes, it's because she's my wife, but genuinely, I feel most comfortable around her because I can tell her anything. And I should be able to tell her anything. And when you leave all that stuff for later, you think, well, I won't show her the real me because I don't want to scare her off. But if it's nothing that you should ever be embarrassed about, why won't you tell her? I would say, and this is what I've learned, and I had better dating experiences as I got older in my late 30s and 40s, is when I started to say, I'm not embarrassed of any of my predilections and quirks and little mistakes and falls and slips and embarrassing moments. I'm just going to tell them and explain what's going on. And if they kind of look at me and try and shame me for it, it's like, I don't want a partner like that. I don't want a friend like that that's going to shame me for being imperfect. Especially if I'm sort of from the heart saying, yeah, that was embarrassing, you know, and then they're trying to make me grovel and feel awful about it. It's not a person you want. Imagine if it's when you need them on your side, that just indicates, well, yeah, they're not going to be on your side. And I can say with Stephanie, the most striking thing with her is she really tried. And then I reciprocated. I tried too, in terms of being honest and telling each other what we want and how we connected and feeling that our values were very, very compatible. She's very different from me in so many ways, typical girl ways, and between a male and a female, we're both very different. Her hobbies are different to mine, things like that. But what is the same is our underlying respect for each other and wanting it to work and trying and putting each other first, stating that and showing it through action, and always trying and trying and trying and trying for the other person. Always trying and showing that the other person is very important and is always going to have honesty. And that's great. She doesn't keep anything hidden, neither do I. And the lack of trying, the hidden part that people go through courting each other and dating each other, is the biggest pitfall, because we don't want to see them go away, because we're going to reveal something very personal, i.e. something real, something honest, and we're afraid she won't like that real honest part of us. But that means she really doesn't like you. She doesn't love you. Because we know if we are completely honest and the other person goes, oh, that's great, I love that, or it's so great to hear someone say that finally. I think real compatibility comes where you can be completely honest and know that it can go left or right. She can either really respect and like me for that, even if it's not her. It might be compatible with her. She might like exactly the thing you like. But even if she doesn't, she still likes you and stays and finds that refreshing and honest, and it kind of bonds you value-wise or honesty-wise, rather than, I want to be honest, but she might leave. Then she should leave. That's the point. And you know it. And I know it from my past. I'm afraid that she's going to leave when I want something, and I'm afraid that she won't want or accept someone who wants that too. Could be a quirk. Could be something in the bedroom. I want this. And she's going to think I'm a freak, and she's going to be disgusted in me. Well, good. Let her be disgusted. You want someone who's not disgusted. You don't want kids, but I won't tell her. No, you need to tell her. But she might go, good. And you know she should. Then now you're free to be with someone else who's like you. But let's go back to a friend. You finally find a good friend you can talk to, but you stay away from certain topics because you don't want to be alone and not have any friends. A friend is better than no friend. No, it's not. It's not. And you know it. Get rid of a cardboard cutout friend where you have to tiptoe around things and just smile. Find a friend that you can spend all day with happily. You know, your best friend, even if it's not a romantic partner, your best friend should be someone that you can go on holidays with, have a good time with, share accommodation with, live with if you want. They can move in with you, you can move in with them, you're always cool. That's a really good best friend. But if you have someone that you know you couldn't live with, that's a friend. That's good to know, but you need to employ some of that insight when it comes to dating. And I know your hormones and your desires are overriding that, your animal instincts to connect and procreate are overriding that, but you really need to be aware of that because your life is at stake. The rest of your life is at stake. Months and years of wasting. That the perfect person could have just walked by because you took yourself out of the dating pool. If you are open to dating, stay in the dating pool, but be honest and reveal everything about you. From the first date, if there's anything you want to say or ask, just do it. I don't subscribe to all these people saying, stay away from politics and religion and all these things. Keep it all on the surface. I'm not saying on the very first hour you meet somebody, you tell them about like some embarrassing medical condition that you have to deal with now or what's happening with your family that's very personal. But I'm saying be honest. And people kind of laugh and saying, well, humans being living in the fantasy world. You need to do this, this, and that. Otherwise, women won't like you. And I'm saying, good. I don't really want those women to like me. I don't care. Let them find someone else that likes what they like. If, you know. And I would say for any of you guys that watch my content, that you know this is true. You want to be someone who wants to try, who likes you enough to try, and you like them enough to try. It seems very trite and banal, and you think it goes without saying, but a lot of people don't. They just keep trying and trying with someone who doesn't try, and they're trying and trying in a formal way, like you're both trying to keep a job that you would rather leave. It's like you're both in a relationship where if someone better came around, you would probably want to leave. In the same way, you try and get a job just for the money, and then if you won the lottery, you wouldn't stay working. It's not a job you love. The effort that Stephanie and I, from when we met to now, every day we talk and have interesting, in-depth conversations about like the inner world of ourselves, our ideas, aspirations, slip-ups. We say anything, we joke around, we respect each other, we don't take a joke even towards the other person as serious. We know how to laugh at each other, we know how to reveal things and not shame the person for it. It's really nice to be able to trust the person completely with every thought you might have, everything that you find interesting that I might reserve for my journal or a private video or, something very private I can share with her. And I'd say you want that for a best friend, you want that for your romantic partner, your wife, anyone you're committed to in that way. Because as I said, if you don't, you are wasting your time. There could be a lot of other people. It's hard to find someone compatible with you, but you are letting a lot of other potential people slip away when you commit to the wrong person. If you try honestly, you're laying it all out on the table rather than performing to get them, to acquire the person, to win the prize of this beautiful, interesting partner. You don't want to win the high-value woman. You want to just meet, even if it's in other people's eyes, someone who's low value, to you, it's the person you really like being around the most. It's no more complicated than that. You don't need to perform. Rather, communicate yourself directly and honestly. And if you try in that manner, if you try to kind of communicate, I'm trying to show you as clearly and as best I can, this is what I'm trying to show you me. I'm not trying to give you what you want. I'm trying to give you who I am. And then if you like that, then I'm really happy. Then you like me for something real, something that wasn't performed. I'm not trying to get anywhere with you. I'm trying to just be who I am and have a lot of fun, and you like it, you love it. Not that you're impressed because I figured out a formula of how to psychologically get any woman to like me. Well, I mean, if there is one, it's have fun on a date, go out on a date with the intent, I'm just going to have a good time, having fun, being myself. If that's a strategy, do that every time because that's natural. The posture is, let me be real here. And in that honest revelation to the other person and yourself, that genuine compatibility between the two of you will either surface or incompatibility will show itself. And if they don't like you, or rather they're incompatible to you, then great. I think there's no worse misery than us winning an attractive partner in our fantasy, and we have them, and we just are miserable and we need time away from them, and you need to get away with, your hobbies and spend time away from her. She needs to spend time away from you. And you fall for the modern thing of, we both retain our independence, give each other space, and then we kind of also have a relationship as well, and we juggle the two. I bought into it for a while because I was single for so long, and I know what it's like to be single. And when you're with the wrong person, you feel like this is uncomfortable. And so you say, well, everyone's telling me relationships are hard work and this is normal, so I'll just decide to split myself, because a lot of guys have their time away from their partner because they really need it to decompress, and then they have a relationship and they just go between the two. And I realize that's not the case. If you need time away, it means you're with an incompatible person. It's almost like when you're with them, you hold your breath, and then you need time away to exhale, and then you go back to them. So I will leave you with remembering that if you're going to remember anything, just look at whether you're trying and if they're reciprocating. They're really being honest. They're not just wanting things from you, but they're giving things, like trying and coming to your house and wanting to meet you. And you ask for something, they give it to you. They ask for something, you give it to them. And it just grows and reciprocates and grows and builds and grows and builds. And you just see it's kind of an honest reciprocation between the two of you. That's where you know it might go somewhere. Look, and in the end, after a few months or a year, you might figure out you're just really two nice people that tried. and you've just seen that you don't have the same values or your lives are in two different directions, but you really tried from a genuine place and it was good for a while. But if you start from a place of performing, even if you say, well, I'm being the most polite, synthetic, polished version of me, just like when I go to church or in front of grandpa and mum, and I'm acting the way they all want me to act and then they love me for that, this is the one place you cannot act. You can act everywhere else in life to get meaningful relationships, or however meaningful they are. When you can't be yourself is up to you, I guess, however much you can tolerate. But in the personal ones you choose that are very important, like a best friend or your one romantic partner, it should be paramount that you don't need to perform. You can be, figuratively speaking, the you that is at home when no one's around. You can be that person in a t-shirt and tracksuit or jeans and without makeup if you're a girl, and just being normal. And when a person likes that, then you know it means something. Otherwise, if you always have to have that makeup on, if you're a chick, if you always have to kind of be the Chad and perform and posture and be in a suit and be successful and powerful and always put up this act, if you have to be peddling so hard for the appearance of a version of you that you know that they respond to, and when you stop peddling and they see the real naked you, figuratively speaking, that you're going to question whether or not they're going to stay. If everything comes crashing down around you, not you, but everything around you comes crashing down and the mask slips and you're just left with the naked you, if you worry that like, well, I don't know if she'll stay with me. If you've done nothing wrong and you, without anything around you, without the performance, you're wondering if she gets bored and she's going to leave, whether she'll stay, well, you know the answer. She doesn't love the real you. And for all the people out there that say love doesn't exist, see, it's not real, it's because I think so much of it's perform. And the only way we can sustain relationships with the majority of incompatible people out there is to perform. And you can sustain relationships for a good time where you go to your shed and, you know, escape on your own and maybe with your buddies and you need a breather from your missus. You can do that for a while, but you're not going to have a really nice life. The only happiness and niceness you're going to feel is away from your partner. And when you spend so much time with your partner and you need time away to breathe, just in the same way, if you're in a terrible job where it stresses you out so much of the week that you can't wait for the weekend is where your real life is. And if you've got a relationship that feels like that, yeah, I got her and we're keeping it going, but I need to breathe as well. It's the same as being in that job you really don't like. Because if you won the lottery, you know, you would just leave. So, anyway, that's all I have. Bye.